the Darling River just upstream of the weir at Wilcannia. I found a little track past the hospital down to the riverbank and found these fantastic huge old river red gums, and I'm pretty sure that these are the ones that Waddy Harris was telling me about yesterday. Apparently some people came out and tested these trees and found that they're somewhere between 800 and 900 years old. They're these beautiful gnarly old things with an enormous canopy. I heard there's some really nice old buildings in Wilcannia, and from what I've seen so far, there are. So this is Christine.
That's me.
And Christine is the weather, what do you call yourself? A weather observer.
Not a forecaster.
Not a forecaster in Wilcannia.
Don't know the future.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to tell me the future. So what do you actually have to do when you...
Oh well, you read the outward signs like the cloud cover and the wind and the clarity of the atmosphere and all that sort of thing. And then you read the temperatures.
It's a Stevenson screen, right? Okay.
So all the thermometers are inside.
Right. It's very simple.
And there's your wind thing up there.
For some reason I imagined that a rain gauge would be far more sort of high-tech looking. It looks like a chook feeder.
See what it does, it goes down on the funnel.
Yeah.
Into there.
Ah. Just like that.
It's got to be away from everything too, because you can't get a proper reading if it was on the fence. As well as the weather has to be away from buildings and trees and whatnot.
Yep.
And they actually measure all that when they come out to make sure you're not getting shade too.
Yes.
Like it's not being shaded over at certain times of day and all the rest.
Yeah.
So if I had trees all around here, it wouldn't give me the weather.
Oh, okay.
Because you need that bareness. And they like the native vegetation. Gives you a better reading than lawn and grass.
Really?
It's different moisture levels.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing happens much out here. Like you get loads of blue skies. You don't get any great dramas. You get dust storms and you can't even say, if you've done it for 20 years, you still can't say you know it's wrong, because patterns are larger than lifetimes of one individual. 20 years is nothing.
Given the sort of scientific evidence that's around, do you think that there's that would indicate climate change?
I believe it's happening, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, scientists are saying. And
yeah.
Yeah.
How about the river then?
Well, that's changed a great deal, because when we came here, that was back in 78, it was a normal river. Might have been a bit sort of muddy. Darling's very fluctuating.
Yes, yeah.
But it did flood a lot. In fact, it was maybe every year, I don't know. But it hasn't flooded for many years, and that's due to lack of rainfall. There's been an over-allocation, but that's when there is rain. They've done all the over-allocating of licences. But now there's no rain to create the river, so for the last 12 years, I suppose. It hasn't rained in the catchment very much, except for this last big.
Yeah.
I suppose in the city you can pretend it's not happening, I suppose, but if you're looking at a river every day, you probably would notice it. It's one river that's suffering amongst many, isn't it? Like, it's not just Wilcannia, Darling River. But it's probably because it's where it is in the inland, and it's probably much more affected by the lack of rainfall than other rivers are. I wouldn't call it a localised worry, I'd call it a general world worry than just here. I mean, this is marginal land at the best of times, and if it's going to change, I think this will be one place that becomes desert in time.
Yep.
It's already marginal for surviving.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any Wilcannia. But there won't be a lot of other things as well around, especially in the inland of Australia, which is semi-arid zone, isn't it? So it's only just hanging in as far as water and things like that go.
Yeah. I've reached Menindee and the Menindee Lakes. Much sandier country here. People in Broken Hill were telling me that the Menindee Lakes haven't had water in them for 9 years. Now they do. There's an outlet regulator just a couple of 100 metres from here, so the flows are controlled. For every 1 straight mile, it winds 3 miles. That's why its course overall is so much longer than the road.
And it nearly sent the cotton growers packing the drought, but because that water came down, they're thinking they can go again. But if they thought there was never going to be a flow, they'd probably have to give up in the end. It's just come in time for them to put more onto it.
Yes.
Unless the government legislates against it, they're going to do anything to make a buck, I think.
Yeah.
And I know they've tried to buy up some of those water licences along the river, so that if it did rain, we'd get the water.
Yes. Well, I mean, just looking at all those photos of the paddle boats and all the barges and the roaring trade that Wilcannia supported, then it looked like the river was much higher than it is now.
Oh, well, it was raining more than it is now. It's not raining in the catchment. It's only very rarely rains in that Western Queensland. That's where it comes from.
Yes.
It changes the whole way the river runs. That kind of rainfall, when it's a big torrential edge of a cyclone.
What happens?
We just get these huge big downpours and they're over again for ages. You don't get the constant coming and going of rain. You just have these big events. When that river eventually drops down, it's going to probably stay that way until you have another big cyclonic event.
Yeah. Pooncary's a wee town, under 100 people. I'll go to the pub tonight and see what I can find out. I can't believe that this is one of Australia's 2 biggest rivers. I haven't seen it in flood. That must be really impressive. When the river spreads far and wide across the floodplains. To those people who live around the Amazon, this must seem like this little trickle. I'm told that the river needs snags like this, branches, logs that are in the river, because they create habitat for the native fish. So it's all part of the ecosystem of the river. It seems that carp have had a really devastating effect. The moment this soil gets wet, it just becomes so sticky and slippery. You can't hope to drive on it, certainly not in my car. Even 4-wheel drives have a job of doing that. The cattle grid, a constant feature of this journey.